The Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe put out a notice that warned YouTubers, Facebook podcasters, and other online content creators that they may be subject to the same rules as traditional broadcasters. Interesting, you might be thinking. Well, let me quote some of the things that were said in this particular notice. Baz in this notice expressed serious concern over the growing prevalence of internet-based broadcasting of content that is inconsistent with Zimbabwe's broadcasting regulations and standards. Very interesting wording that was used there, internet-based broadcasting. It then goes on to mention, and listen to the strong wording here, the authority will continue to monitor both traditional and digital media and shall not hesitate to decisively enforce the existing laws to protect the integrity of Zimbabwe's media space. The authority calls on all broadcasters to familiarize themselves with the code of conduct for broadcasters and to ensure that their content complies with the law. Some scary words there. What does this mean? What are the implications? Now, this notice came in a week that some online podcasters were being criticized for some of their content. More specifically, they were not mentioned in this notice, but it doesn't stop us from thinking about what the context is. Popular podcast show host Ola Seven, who has a podcast in which he interviewed someone, and there were some, shall we say, questionable discussions that were happening on that podcast. It seems that this might have been one of the things that was referenced. It was by no means the only podcast. Several others seem to have had certain questionable content on their podcasts. Could this be a reference to them? Well, perhaps. What does this mean for you if you have a YouTube page or if you have a Facebook page where you regularly post content? I think it's a very valid question for us to understand. At what point does a YouTuber, a Zimbabwean YouTuber, or someone with a Facebook page, when do they become a broadcaster in the eyes of the Broadcasting Authority of Zimbabwe? It was not specifically mentioned in the notice, but there was reference made to one of the regulations about licensing. And if you also take a look at the Broadcasting Services Act, it does mention that broadcasters are subject to licensing under BAS. Does this mean that there's an expectation for podcasters and YouTubers to have a license? What are the financial implications of this? Also, the very dire warning about there being potentially enforcement of these rules. Does this mean that some podcasters have to take some thought about whether they might be falling afoul of the law?